Oh, okay. Now's a good time to slow down and talk about statements and expressions. We've actually been using them all along without even realizing it. Statements are instructions that do something, but they don't return value. Expressions, on the other hand, do produce a value that we can use. Let's walk through a few examples. It'll make everything much clearer. When we create a variable and assign it a value using the let keyword, that's a statement, and statements do not return values. Therefore, you can't assign a let statement to another variable, as the following code tries to do. The let y equals 6 statement does not return a value, so there isn't anything for x to bind to. This is different from what happens in other languages, such as C and Ruby, where the assignment returns the value of the assignment. That also means Rust won't let you do something like this. We can't assign the value 7 to both x and y in a single line, like we tried on line 5, because y equals 7 is a statement. And statements in Rust don't return a value, so there's nothing for x to receive. Another example of a statement is a function declaration. This should not be confused with a function call. A function declaration does not produce a value, which is why it cannot be assigned to a variable, as we can see in this example. In Rust, expressions are everywhere. An expression is something that evaluates to a value. Take a math operation like 5 plus 6, it's an expression, and it evaluates to 11. Expressions often show up inside statements. For example, in the code let y equals 6, the 6 is an expression. It evaluates to the value 6 and the whole line becomes a statement that binds 6 to y. Deploying a function is an expression and calling a macro is an expression. And as usual, let's take a look at a couple of code examples. We already know that declaring the add function is a statement. It defines behavior, but doesn't produce a value. But calling the add function is an expression because it does produce a value. That value can be used immediately, such as assigning it to a variable or passing it to another function. Let's take a look on line 10. The line x plus y evaluates to a value, specifically the result of adding x and y. So this line is an expression, and because it's the last line in the function without a semicolon, it determines the function's return value. Inside the function, we can have multiple statements and expressions. For example, we can print the values before returning the result. Great job! Okay, so this is the perfect time to figure out why every function call is an expression. Every function you declare in Rust returns a value. Always. Even if you don't specify a return type, it still returns the unit type when you see empty parentheses like this as a function's return type. That's called the unit type. It means the function is done, but there's no meaningful value to return. It's not null, it's not void, it's a real type. So when Rust gives you the unit type, it's just saying mission complete, no data to deliver. All right, time to get our hands dirty with some code and see how Rust handles the unit type behind the scenes. Let's kick things off by declaring a simple function called greet. You might notice that we didn't specify a return type. Rust automatically fills in the unit type behind the scenes for functions that don't return anything. But if we want to be explicit, we absolutely can. Instead of relying on Rust default behavior, we can clearly specify the return type as unit. As we already know, every function call in Rust is an expression. That means we can take the value returned by the greet function, even if it's just the unit type, and store it in a variable. Take a look. The code analyzer automatically figured out the type of the result variable for us, and as expected, it's the unit type. If we try to print the value using the println macro, we'll actually get an error, because the unit type isn't meant to be displayed directly like that. But don't worry, in a future video, we'll explore how to properly handle and work with the unit type when needed. And that's a wrap on our journey through statements and expressions. I made sure to highlight this topic because Rust is a fundamentally expression-based language, and knowing the difference between a statement and an expression is crucial, not just for writing clean idiomatics code, but also because it's a super common interview question. In the next video, we'll shift gears and dive into comments, the unsung heroes of readable code. This course is being created with a lot of love and by just one person. It's a work in progress, and yes, it's completely free. Producing content like this isn't easy, so please, don't make me go on TikTok and dance. I'm definitely too fat for that. If you're enjoying the journey so far, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep going and bring you more awesome Rust content.